The next global battlefield may well be in space, and Pakistan may be a party to it. And this isn't the stuff of sci-fi anymore. This is real. As France's President Macron said, the war of tomorrow will begin in space. Europe is scrambling, Russia is jamming, China is shadowing satellites, and the US Space Force says that its satellites are being attacked every single day. So what does a country like Pakistan do in a world like that? Well, it starts building. Pakistan has quietly been making a lot of progress in space. Let's find out how. Pakistan's Institute of Space Technology in Islamabad means Pakistan is finally thinking of space as science. And a lot of that research happens here. We're talking about building satellites, high-performance coating, material testing, the really nerdy and really important stuff. Students here have built multiple CubeSats and space-ready models. Leading this new wave is Dr. Qamar, the scientist behind iCubeQamar, the CubeSat that became part of Pakistan's first lunar mission.
This CubeSat technology is a result of the academic universities' efforts to make space accessible. Otherwise, those missions are very, very expensive, and it's very difficult for academia to get into it because it's a very low mass, small satellite like this one. This is a 1U satellite basically, and then you can add other U's like 2U, 3U, like this one is 3U, this one is 1U. And once you launch and you test new technology, and then obviously you can put that technology into bigger satellites. So Pakistan also entered into this one, and we developed this lab, and we launched the first satellite in 2013. And then we did some collaborative work at the Asia Pacific Space Corporation level, and we launched a 3U satellite. It was a constellation basically, 3 satellite constellation, and it was launched in 2021. Then we got the opportunity to actually work on a lunar mission. And that was the Chang'e 6 mission, which was world's first mission at the far side of the moon to get the samples from the far side of the moon. And we actually joined with them as an international payload over satellite, and that satellite was released into the lunar orbit. So if I just show you this satellite, so it's called CubeSat for Qamar. In May 2003, it was launched with the Chang'e 6. The moon is around, on average, 380,000 kilometers from Earth. So it took 5 days to reach moon. And when it was close to moon, then it was actually released into the moon orbit.
And this kind of research doesn't just build satellites, it builds industries. The material science, electronics, and engineering expertise developed at IST can give Pakistani companies the technology boost they need to compete globally.
We have the capability to develop almost all type of material which our industry, especially the manufacturing industry, as well as the construction industry needs, and they import it from overseas. So we feel that if the industry gets benefit from our research, so they will be able to not only save billions of dollars in import bill, but as well as they will be able to export handsomely.
And this foundation of university-led research isn't just important, it's exactly what scientists working directly with NASA point to as well. Among them is Emaad Paracha, a Pakistani astrophysicist based in Canada. He's worked in near-space balloon-borne telescopes and collaborated with NASA. Let's hear from him.
So I think it is a very good step that the IST has taken in enabling research in this field, but I still think there's a lot more that can be done as well, because that will eventually help Pakistan get to a point of autonomy within space technology, as well as its own data collection, whether it is sensing Pakistan itself, remote sensing for Pakistan, observing Pakistan from above, being able to use that data to manage our own disaster management, manage our own cities management, manage our ecological management, and also in the communication space as well, because what we're seeing now more so than ever is sovereignty over our own data, our own communications, and that will be a very important point that countries will have to look at into the future. And investing early, investing now at this stage in space technology is extremely important to get to that stage as well.
The Pakistan Air University satellite and Pakistan Remote Sensing CEO-1 took Pakistan's imaging capabilities to a new level. Then came the hyperspectral satellite, the first of its kind for the country. It was able to detect everything from crop health to troop movement. And that's not all. 2 Pakistani astronauts will also undergo training alongside Chinese astronauts, and one of them will be selected for a short duration mission aboard China's space station. And EO-1, launched earlier, gave Pakistan independent high-resolution Earth observation. For Pakistan, the launch of its first hyperspectral satellite, HS-1, was described by the country's space agency as a major milestone. That will enhance national capacities across agriculture, urban planning, and disaster management. You're probably thinking, okay, cool, satellites, but no, this is much bigger. In 2024, Pakistan quietly dropped a document that sounds super boring, the National Space Policy. But once you actually read it, it's basically Pakistan preparing for the kind of future no one ever imagined. It says Pakistan will build its own ISR, that is intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. It will protect satellites from cyber attacks, it will track what's happening in orbit, and it will build systems with backups and off backups. And it will work closely with its best friend, China. If this were Star Wars, this document is basically Pakistan saying, okay, fine, we're joining the Rebel Alliance. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit, because you can't talk about Pakistan's space program without talking about the region. And you can't talk about the region without talking about defense because of our angry neighbor. South Asia is, well, a really complex galaxy. India is building a full military space command, and China is basically the Death Star of electronic warfare. And Pakistan is right in the middle, building resilience.
We need to look at what we have right now, and we need to invest smart. Take into account India and even China and other countries that have launch capabilities. They invested early. They have developed their own space technology industries within their own countries, and now they're at a point where they can build their own satellites and then launch their own satellites as well. Yes, we may not be at that stage right now, but it is important that we slowly work towards that stage. But it is also important to note that we don't need to dominate space first. We're not at a point where we can get to that stage right away, and neither is it important to get to that stage right away. We need to benefit from space first.
In 2019, India blew up one of its own satellites just to prove that it could. It was called Mission Shakti, Instant Space Power Badge Unlocked. But it was heavily criticized because it created hundreds of pieces of space debris, raising concerns about the safety of satellites in low Earth orbit and the precedent it set for weaponizing space. And in 2025, India has just launched its CMS-03, one of its heaviest military communications satellites ever. And this wasn't a coincidence. It came right after India's painful realization during the May 2025 conflict that Pakistan, linked with China's satellites, had the information advantage. So with CMS-03, India is trying to fix that. 35,000 kilometers above Earth, it's tying together the Indian Navy, Air Force, and Army, all encrypted, all connected. At the same time, India is rapidly building up its military space architecture as well. It's a plan to launch 52 dedicated defense satellites by 2030 or earlier for surveillance, communication, and reconnaissance. China, meanwhile, plays a different game entirely. Co-orbital satellites, space jammers, lasers, cyber units dedicated to space warfare, and BeiDou, China's answer to GPS. It's fully sovereign, fully accurate, more powerful than America's GPS and other constellations. And here's the plot twist. Pakistan, for military purposes, uses BeiDou, not GPS. That gives Pakistan precision navigation even during jamming. It integrates directly with Pakistani missiles, radars, drones, and it's backed by China, the world leader in electronic warfare.
I think it is a very smart decision to partner because at the end of the day, space is a lot about collaboration. If you look at the International Space Station, that is in essence a collaboration between the US and Russia, which are traditionally have been foes more than allies. But in the space domain, they found that it is about collaboration, and then they learn from each other. And I think Pakistan is at a point where it does need to learn from other collaborators, other international collaborators too. But also it is good to see that we're benefiting and we're learning how to benefit from space technology, and then we can slowly move into being more autonomous in the space domain.
And that's what the May 2025 conflict also proved. Pakistan's advantage wasn't firepower, it was information. Fast, synchronized, network. During the May 2025 conflict, many defense analysts reported that Pakistan showcased a surprisingly advanced level of electronic warfare. Much of it was enabled by Chinese supplied technology. Electronic warfare, or EW, is the use of electromagnetic spectrum to jam, spoof, or disrupt an enemy's radar, communications, and targeting systems. By interfering with India's sensors and situational awareness, these EW systems reportedly gave Pakistan a significant tactical edge. And this battlefield is closely linked to satellites because modern militaries rely on satellite communication, satellite navigation, and space-based surveillance. So when EW disturbs those signals or blind sensors, it can shape the outcome of a conflict long before any physical weapon is even used. Now, let's expand to the global arena. Europe is dealing with Russian jamming, cyber probes, nuclear-capable orbital systems. The UK and Germany have jointly accused Russia of performing dangerous orbital maneuvers that look less like routine spaceflight and more like intimidation. And the US has already accused Russia of using Cosmos 2576 as a space weapon. And if Europe, with all of its advanced systems, feels this vulnerable, imagine what this means for regions where nuclear powers sit only minutes apart. So this isn't a space race, it's a space scramble, a scramble for survival. Who knows, the next conflict in this region won't start with jets taking off, or artillery firing, or troops mobilizing. It might just start with silence, a signal dropping, a satellite drifting, a radar freezing. And the only countries that will survive that silence are the ones prepared for it. As the world edges closer to a new era of competition, part cyber, part orbital, part nuclear, Pakistan is trying to carve out a place for itself in space. And in a neighborhood like South Asia, that might be the smartest strategy of all. People once doubted Pakistan could go nuclear, and it proved them wrong. If history is any guide, Pakistan's space program might surprise the world as well.